Hey everybody, welcome to etrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the Kuat NV 2.0 here on the back of our 2020 Tesla Model Y. Now guys, it's going to be an awesome way of going ahead and giving yourself a very nice platform to get your bikes to wherever you want to go. Now right out of the gate, of course, Kuat always has that style in mind. You do have a lot of nice copper orange accents throughout it here today. Now we are working on the gunmetal gray. That's not quite to your liking. There is another version available. It does come in black as well, which has some nice kind of silver steel as the accents instead, which can be great. So give that a look on the website if you guys are liking it, but you kind of want a different style. However, it's not only stylish, it's also going to do a great job of actually carrying your bikes. With a 60-pound weight capacity limit, you're going to have no trouble getting two bikes on that limit, of course. So that's going to be awesome, as you can get two heavy big old e-bikes up on here with no trouble at all, or your big mountain bikes, of course, too. So that's awesome. Gonna have no trouble, I think, getting almost any bike you want up on here. And why that is, of course, we do have this front tire hold. Makes it really easy to even throw up carbon frame bikes on here. Why that is, because we have that tire hold, we're not having any frame contact. Therefore, our frame won't warp and deteriorate, and we're not gonna have any issues for ourselves, which is awesome. And with that too, women's bikes, step-through bikes, and kids' bikes, sometimes they have a weird horizontal issue. We can go ahead and completely ignore that. This is gonna go ahead and just give you the best way of actually holding on your bike that you can get right now, in my opinion, which is awesome. And you are getting a lot of versatility out of it. So you can see very long track system here for ourselves. That front tire cradle does a great job of allowing our wheels to sit right in there and be secure. And in the back here, you can see we have this adjustable cradle. All we got to do, simply shift that around, and as we tighten down, of course, it'll keep itself in position. That is just a nice stable platform for the back wheel. On the very end of that platform too, you are seeing a cable lock, and that's going to be on this guy and the other one, which is awesome. So you get one individual one for your bikes. Makes it really easy to go ahead and secure each one for yourselves. That way you can go ahead and make sure that our bikes are going to be there when we leave our bike rack unattended, which is awesome for itself. One really cool thing about this guy too, it can actually tilt away from our vehicle. Now right now our handlebars would be kind of in the way of our hatch opening up, which would definitely stink, but we can go ahead and actually get this out of the way. There's just this little lever right here. I need to pull that towards me. That's going to allow me to tilt down and out of the way, and then I can go ahead and grab right underneath here, pop open my hatch. Now I can get those coolers, bike helmets, anything I might have in the back of our Tesla here. Can become a great spot too to go ahead, relax, sit down, put your feet up on your carrier too, change some shoes, whatever you need to do. Becomes a nice little spot to hang out. And also what's awesome about that, right? This is also very accessible when we're in transit. So maybe we're at a gas station or something, getting some groceries on the way home. This can be really nice. That way I don't have to take off my bikes. They're not going to be in my way. And like we said, they will be nice and secure. So they're just be hanging right there, ready for us when we get back into it, which is awesome. So with any hitch mount accessory, definitely adding some length. But before I go ahead and get some measurements, let's see how easy it is to take off the bike. To do so, we're just simply going to come to this back strip here, press in on that lever that allows me to take this guy out. On the inside of this strip too, you are seeing a little bit of matting. That becomes great, of course, to make sure we're not having any issue with our rims, causing any scratches or damaging it. And then I can simply come up, make sure we have a good handle on our bike, because we don't want this tilting into our back or ourselves. And I can press in on that button, get that up out to the side, push it away, grab my bike, and there we are, ready to ride. So it takes no time at all, as you guys can see. And then walking it up, pretty much the same thing. All you want to watch out for is going to be this back strip. And what's kind of cool about it, I always like to dip my wheel, and then I'll catch that in the inside, and then I can easily run my strip in and hold onto my wheel really, really quickly, which is awesome. Of course, bringing in our arms, going to be very helpful to go ahead and give us that nice sleek look for itself. Now, one thing I will say, it is a little bit longer. If you're not quite needing this weight capacity, you could kind of look at the Kuat Sherpa 2.0. It's basically the same rack, minus a few little features here and there, and it is just a little bit shorter, a little bit more lightweight, a little bit more manageable. However, if you really want that 60-pound, you really can't beat the NV, which can be great. Well, let's go ahead and see what kind of dimensions we're working with. As we mentioned, we're definitely going to have to watch the length here that we're adding to our vehicle. So for the back of our car to the very end now is putting us right at 29.5 inches for ourselves. So about 30 inches. Now that is pretty comparable from what you might see from a 2-bike platform rack, of course, especially with the NV. It has this nice little added turning repair stand that we'll break down later. And that is adding a little bit of length. Now that's a little bit too long. You could look at the NV base as well. It's going to give you the same thing, a little bit of a different look. It comes in a matte black, and you can actually take off that repair stand just not there. So if you're not needing that guy, we'll kind of break it down later. But that can be a nice little way of shaving down a few inches. But we can also go ahead and take a look at our clearance here. One thing we have to watch, we don't want to make this contact with the ground, of course. Now we do have a nice little rise in our assembly, so it's not something I'm going to be too concerned about. But from the ground to the very end here now is going to be putting us right at 21 3/4 of an inch. Like we said, with that rise, I think we're in a pretty A-OK spot. Shouldn't have any contact with the ground in this position, but just keep in mind as those front wheels go up, the back will go down, and so will your hitch mounted accessories. Alrighty guys, well to go ahead and fold this up, we're going to come right back to that little lever we are at. We can simply push that guy in, walk this guy up, and as you guys can see, it is a little bit of a close fit, but I kind of like that, right? We're not adding too much room. You still have about 1 3/4 inches between you and the vehicle. And the thing to look out for here too, you might be worried about these arms, right? They're independent, they move, but you guys can see they have a very good resistance here. And that's with me making direct force with it, right? Natural road shake is not going to give you that directional force, so those arms aren't going to be doing that. You might see a little shake, but even in this position, you guys can see how secure this platform really is, which is awesome. So, like I said, I don't think road shake's going to get you there. We're not going to have any issue with this making contact with our vehicle. But we can go ahead and see exactly what we shaved down here from the very end now. That's going to put us right under 12 inches for ourselves, guys. So I really like that. Now we're definitely going to have no trouble getting this in the garage, I think, or at least a lot more maneuverability. Now, the one thing I will say, you do have these corners to watch out for, so they're not too much extended from your vehicle. If that's how close we are to the other cars, we might have a little bigger issues than we're having to worry about our carrier. So I think we're in an okay spot with that, which is great for ourselves. Moving our way down to the inside, though, you can see we do have a 2-inch shank here today, being held by our 2-inch hitch receiver, of course. And we do have a little alignment pin in here, and on the very end of that, you are seeing a locking core. Now, those keys will be key-to-like to match the locking core that we have actually on the front here, or I'm sorry, on each end of our platforms. So that becomes really nice. If you're like me and you need a spare or two, you do have a few, which is great. And again, they just do a great job of securing our carrier to our vehicle and then our bikes to our carrier. So everything's going to be nice and secure for ourselves. Now, moving our way to the outside, though, here you can see our anti-rattle device. So a lot of times what you start seeing on these carriers is what they call a threaded anti-rattle hitch bolt. Now, those things work great. However, they kind of can become a pain to put in. As you guys can see here, not a lot of room to work with on the inside here. What's nice, I'm staying on the outside of my carrier. I don't have to get a tool. I'm not spending 5 minutes only ratcheting a quarter at a time. I can simply walk right out here, tighten up, and have it nice and secure for myself. You will see a little Allen entrenchment here too as well. That's going to go ahead and allow you to really tighten this down. That becomes awesome for those longer road trips, for those times where you don't want to be checking it every 50 miles or so. And as you guys are going to see, as I shake this, it brings it in line with that Tesla. That means we're taking all that road shake out, making for a nicer, smoother ride for ourselves, our bike rack, but especially our bikes, which is great. And again, in this position, you can see how good the Kuat looks. It almost looks better up than it does on its side, which is funny. You do have that nice little branding and the nice little accents throughout it. What I like about it too, you can easily walk up. Say you're like us, you don't have a bike stand. You can hold your bike, press in on your foot right here, and actually bring it down and lock it into position, which can be awesome. And here too, you are seeing our little repair stand is available. To open that up, you just simply hit that latch like so, bring this guy out, bring him up, latch it down, go ahead and open this guy. You're going to go ahead and allow yourself to get the bike in there. Then you can go ahead, clamp it down, of course, and do all those repairs you might need wherever you are. Therefore, no bike gets left behind. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that when we get there, if something did go wrong, we can repair it and still enjoy our day. Or, of course, just fix our bike before we need to bring it home, which can be awesome. So, all we got to do, simply slot that down, get it back in position. Now, that's something you don't need if you go, well, I already have a repair stand, or I don't treat my bike that hard, don't think I really need it. Again, you could look at the Kuat NV base. It does come in a matte black though, so definitely weigh those options for yourself at home. One last little thing too, you guys can actually get attachments added to this guy, which is awesome. So right now, this can be a great pickup if you just find yourself and maybe a loved one, or maybe just a friend or two that you bring with you on the trails. However, you do start expanding your friends list, maybe expanding the family as well. You can go ahead, grab yourself the extension as well, and really start packing a lot of bikes, even on this one carrier, which becomes awesome. Well guys, the only other thing to look out for is going to be your backup camera. Now I will say, especially with this repair stand and everything in here, you're going to lose a lot of that visibility. especially as you get bikes up on here. That's just something that happens with them innately, but nice that we have this entire viewing area still out of the back of our window, which becomes awesome. And again, not impacting with our taillights, which you love to see. Well guys, I think that about does it for our look here today at the Kuat NV 2.0 here on the back of our 2020 Tesla Model Y. I'm Bobby. Thank you for watching.